You need a lot more than that. Okay, let's go on. So the membranes, the cell membranes actually are really interesting. The cell membrane is a very interesting thing. Here we go. Okay. Now, so all organs and living things literally talk to each other. Now what happens is the new satellite system, the Teledesic and Globalstar satellites, actually are speaking now at the range at which your cells talk to each other, and all living things like trees grow, coral reefs grow, whales talk. In fact, whales are an animal very similar to us. They live in hyperdimensional space, which means they don't just live in the physical world like we do. We also live in hyperdimensional space, but we're told that we don't, that we're not a spirit being. They're often suppressed as children and told that you're not to be like that. I'm the way I am because I died when I was 8.5, and I don't know how to turn it off. And you'll see many children, especially children that have unusual abilities, they're often called star children and so on. What's happening is they're like the bubbles in the bottle I mentioned earlier. There's a number of individuals of all ages. They're like the bubbles in the champagne. They're rising like the avatars of the age because their spirits are quickening as they know that the age is about to go to a transition. But the general population level of consciousness is actually dropping. What happens is there's full integration of this scalar signaling system in the cells of the body with both the chemical system like the calmodulin and the phosphorylation systems and the enzyme controls and the actual operational cytoarchitecture of cells. So yeah, let's try that. I keep on trying to go down because the mic's there. Yeah, that's good. Oh, this is much better. Hey, now I can talk. Why do you need to know this? Well, I spoke a little fast and it's advanced technology, but you need to know that Raymond Rife was exactly right. The problem with the Rife machine is you need to have precise frequencies, and if it's not precise, it does nothing, or it can actually be harmful. They have bombs. The U.S. has had bombs since the 1970s, and so have the Russians. They're called scalar bombs. They can actually, if they release something like the avian flu, they can drop a scalar bomb and cover an area as large as maybe 1,500 radio miles, and they can kill a specific organism with a specific targeted frequency that will wipe it out. So let's say there was a outbreak of avian flu. They actually can drop a couple scalar bombs and you wouldn't even know it hit North America, and those scalar bombs would actually explode, creating a scalar harmonic wave that would rupture every single avian flu virus, but they won't do it, I can guarantee it. Now, I'll give you some things you can do to protect yourself against a lot of these bioweapons, but the government doesn't want you to know that these same technologies used to kill could also wipe out most of the known diseases we have, extend human lifespan many, many times so people would be living centuries or millennia, regenerate organs, and stop literally all of the mental illness and other problems which are increasing because of the increasingly toxic world and the increased levels of electromagnetic and scalar pollution. So they don't want you to know this stuff. And they don't like Deagle for telling you. I'm not one of their good lists. I'm actually on the double black list, which means if they could kill me twice, they do it. Steps in anti-aging. Here, and I'll fix this up so you can see this. And there's basically 7 steps, and I'm going to cover this because you need to know this, because I tell people on my radio show, I try to liberate people one cell at a time, one neuron, because if you don't have a physical constitution, there's no point in talking about the constitution of the government. So if you're eating toxic food and brushing with fluoride and taking your regular flu shots, don't read the Constitution because you don't have one. In other words, you're not going to have a brain to think in a year or 2 or 10 years anyway, so who cares? Detoxification from chemicals, heavy metals. Most of the heavy metals that are in our water supplies and so on now are literally trash burned in the third world where they have no environmental standards. We need to get rid of hormones, chemicals, scalar and non-scalar pollution. You need to alkalinize your body. You need to oxygenate. When you alkalinize the body, the oxygen gets through the cells, the toxins come out. It also improves what's called the key, or the bioplasmatic hologram of your body. The body actually has if you look at a Kirlian photograph, which they can do in other things, and other advanced technologies, you can actually see if you want to call it the bioelectric hologram of what your cells are. And all the cells, as they're connected through the tight junctions, which are 4 angstrom J junctions, actually tell the cells how to become what they are. So only about 7% of your DNA codes for proteins, 93% codes for the hologram of what you are. Remineralization. You need to remineralize your organs. Most people don't realize that their organ systems are all demineralized. Your organ systems, your hypothalamus and pituitary. When your pituitary and hypothalamus go, you don't release growth hormones, so you can't heal your organs. Your release of sex hormones, DHEA, the control of your thyroid, everything goes. So if you don't remineralize your main pathways, especially in the brain and hypothalamus, you cannot heal. Hormonal rejuvenation. You need to be able to release growth hormone. Everybody makes plenty of growth hormone, but you need to be able to release it. You need to support DHEA. If you measure men's levels of DHEA, if it's low, they're at very high risk of heart disease, especially. Pregnenolone and adaptogens like maca. Genetic protection. You need super high ORAC antioxidants like goji, noni, ASEA, alpha-R lipoic acid, and beyond. And I have lots of other things. I'm just giving you a few examples here. Immune modulation in cell subpopulations. Most people don't realize, and this is done with Dr. Ari Vujadani here in Beverly Hills, is a good friend of mine at Immunosciences, currently being given a little bit of rendition by the California Department of Regulation, trying to stop him from doing testing of sick buildings due to mold and other fungi. And the reason why is because Dr. Ari is the most brilliant immunologist probably in modern history. And he does advanced testing for our American Academy of Environmental Medicine, where I'm a member and a teacher. And they don't want people to know that the average American is losing 3 to 5% of their immune system in all age groups per decade, and it's cumulative. So whether you're a 5 to 10-year-old female or a 35-year-old male, if your immune system decreases, your natural killer cells and your subpopulations of CD4 cells drop, you're going to get Lyme disease, you're going to get cytomegalovirus, mycoplasma fermentans, you're going to get sick, and you're going to get cancer. And that's their plan. Scalar holographic induction, morphogenic fields. I developed a machine 23 years ago, built 12 of them, with a Canadian government grant that generates what's called a morphogenic field, and I worked out the quantum physics of how actually quantum biology works. And I'm going to hopefully have time to go down and talk to Dr. David Steenblock. He's the top umbilical cord adult stem cell research doctor in North America, probably the top in the world actually. There's 3 or 4 other doctors, but I think he's number 1. And he's been able to reverse things like cerebral palsy by injection of stem cells that cross the blood-brain barrier using special techniques at his hospital down in Tijuana. He's been able to reverse congestive heart failure and renal failure. He's been able to regenerate brains after stroke and heart and other damage. We are on the verge, literally, of a revolution in medicine that's going to completely change the nature. That'll integrate natural nutraceuticals, detoxification, genetic, molecular, and scalar holographic technologies. But the government does not want you to know this stuff. Because a smart 150-year-old that can play tennis with their great-great-grandchildren and can run 2 or 3 chessboards at the same time and read 5 books a day is not a good thing for a government that wants to control them. My mother is 80, just was 80 a few days ago, and she reads 5 books a week. She doesn't watch television. For every hour you watch television, you lose a point of IQ. And some people are in a deficit. They have like an IQ of minus 345,000.